Hi and welcome to Two Tire Teachers, and today I am going to be installing a rear rack on one of our RadMini Step-Thrus, and so I thought I would go on and show you the process. This is actually the same day we got the bikes. We've taken them for a 1-mile ride, but it is really cold today. So here is the box. And I haven't even taken it out of here yet. There is a bag with, it looks like an extension for the tail light, some zip ties, 4 nuts, and 4 bolts, and various washers and some nuts. And then the rear rack assembly itself. So this really is, the process is going to be, I've read the directions on this, and so essentially we are going to remove the tail light from the bike, connect these two to the plate up front, these on the back, and then reattach the tail light back here. Right here and right here. Okay, I have taken the tail light mount off of the back of the Rad, and it just plugs just the way you plugged in the front light when you assembled that. This unplugs. It was pretty tight, but got it unplugged. And now I'm simply going to, let me show you this. We have 4 bolts that came. 2 of them are a little bit shorter. They're the ones that go up here. And then the longer ones with the nuts and washers that are right here go on these connectors right there. And so we'll get that done. The instructions that are online say to put these in first and then put the ones back here in. Well, this is so tight. What I have done is I had the front ones in, and they are the smaller bolts. I had those in first, but I never could get the holes to line up in back. The front actually has a little bit, it's so dark, I don't know if you can see this or not, but there's a little bit of a slot. The one in back, it was just a hole for the bolt to go through. And so finally, when I decided I was going to go on and get the back end in, and I'm going to have to do that part whenever my hands are a little fresher, because I need a little more pressure than I've got right now to get that to line up exactly. But it is so tight, and this is extremely well made. This is really thick, heavy tubing, and so trying to get it to flex just a little bit so we can line up the holes. Not working for me right now, and temperature may have a little bit to do with that. And I'm going to be honest with you, what I think I'm going to do for right now, if you look, this is the one, these in back are the ones that are actually holding the weight of whatever is going to be on here. And so until my hands are fresher and I can get it done, what I am going to do, this is, yeah, it's sweet, buddy. This is here, this is holding, I've gotten the nut and the washer and the nut on the inside on both of those. I am going to get those really thick, heavy-duty zip ties, and I am going to zip tie this up here, and then whenever it's a day where I haven't been already working, where we haven't already assembled 2 bikes and all this other stuff, come back and give it another go with those front ones. The reason I'm saying that is because it is such a confined area. You can't get any kind of tool in there to tighten these things down, and it's, I mean, it feels like they've got Loctite on it already. And so my hands are just really giving out because I've been screwing in a lot of different stuff and stuff today, and not used to doing that. So like I said, that's not a recommendation. I'm just saying it's a reality of how I'm going to do this temporarily until I have a chance to, I think warmer weather is going to make that a little bit easier to get done. So hopefully within the next few days I'll be able to finish that up the right way. But at this point, what I'm going to do is I'm now going to go on and take the tail light off of this bracket that it came on. Then there's a way that we need to run the cable up to get it lined up properly here, and then we'll be done. Okay, for now my installation of the rack is done. I want to show you the routing for the rear light cable, because it's a little bit different than the instruction manual that's online, because the one that's online is for the RadMini and not the RadMini Step-Thru. What I did was I went on and went through here to just to give it another point of being, you know, kind of secured. Then on the frame here, there's a place for a cable tie. Right here, there's another place for a cable tie. And then coming up the rear rack, there's a place for a cable tie right here, another one here, and that's where that little extension goes. So, oh, and the assembly for the rear light is right there. So I think it's going to be, our thought is, with this, I have panniers I will slip on there in just a second. They're ones that I already had, little saddlebags. And, you know, if we're at a national park or something, need to run up and pick up a few odds and ends, or if, you know, we're out somewhere and there's a grocery store nearby, that with each saddlebag having something, a backpack here, and each of us wearing a backpack, we won't necessarily have to get the van out. So we are excited, and let me get that on there. Okay, so there that is. Really like the reflective sidewalls on the tires. I don't know if you can catch any of that right now, but between that and the pannier or saddlebag things there, that's got reflecting, you know, catching a little bit of reflection, and so that's really nice. Do want to mention that when I ask about the rack, the rear rack, about folding the bikes, because that's one of the reasons we wanted the minis, and the guy told me that with the rear rack it will fold completely down, but if you get a front rack, that there were two things I wasn't crazy about the front rack. One was it added space, it made it a little bit wider when it was folded down, and the second was right now the headlight moves the direction of that your handlebars are pointed. If you put that front rack on, your headlight keeps pointing forward instead of as you're turning, and that's shouldn't be a huge deal. We're not planning on riding a lot at night, but that was just, you know, one other thing that the rear rack is going to hold a lot more as well. So if you have better luck installing that rack, please leave comments and let us know what you did to get everything lined up properly, because you can tell it's supposed to be there, but it's just, and you can't see how the holes are lining up while you're doing it, and as cold as it is, that's really rigid and it's not giving it all. So I hope this video has helped, and if you've got some suggestions for what I can do to, you know, if you've got any suggestions, we'll be happy to read those comments. Thanks for watching. To, and especially one very tired teacher.